There's a ton of different writing structures out there. I know when I first started writing, I was overwhelmed. Like I didn't know what a 3 act structure, 4 act, 5 act, Dan Harmon's writing circle, the writer's journey. What do you find is the most useful and easiest writing structure to follow for up and coming writers?
Each type of structure kind of depends on what you're trying to write. If you're trying to write a drama, then maybe like the 5 act structure would be better, or even something that has more continuity and you want those teaser tags. If you're writing something for 6 to 11 that's just comedy, reset to 0 every time, you probably don't need that teaser tag and you can just do the 3 act structure. Dan Harmon's story circle is also really useful. I started out using that. 3 act and 5 act doesn't really prevent you from using the story circle. That's more of like a tool for your character's journey. But I think at the end of the day, you should just kind of use whatever you resonate most with for the type of writing you're going to do. So if you want continuity, try to make sure you have those teaser tags. If you don't want continuity, you don't need them. So maybe start with a 3 act. I think at the end of the day, you should probably be writing what you're most passionate about. And if it has continuity, go for that. And if it doesn't, keep it simple.
Can you just walk us through your typical writing process, writing like something original to you from idea to, a final script that you could send out?
Everybody is different when it comes to like how you start your idea and your creative process. I think my ideas tend to start with a hook, just something that I think is cool and will like lead to a lot of opportunity for cool stories. And from that hook, I think about like the characters that live in that world and like how are they interacting with it? What are they learning from it? And what is the overall like message that I am trying to portray? And how can I reflect the characters interacting with the world in a way that, showcases that message? And then from there, you have to come up with a pilot, like a starting point for the show. That's always the hardest part, getting a pilot to be really tight and buttoned up. It's like, how can you do the exposition as fast as possible? Like shortest possible act 1 always. Like the shorter you can get it, the better. So if you can get done with act 1 and page 2, you're doing great, Act 2 is where all the juicy stuff is anyways. The biggest challenge is setting up your characters and the world as succinctly as possible in a pilot. But that just comes with time and like really knowing your characters. I try to lay out who all of my characters are, what the world is, and like kind of the rules of that world. There's a lot of different like story prompts that can help you start off your pilot. Like, is this the first time these characters are meeting and that's what starts the story? Does something happen? Like in Amphibia, she, wakes up in a new world and it's like, whoa, where am I? And trying to get back home, sometimes it's as simple as that. One device that is easy to use is introducing new characters to the stand-in for the audience. So like one character should be your audience and they don't know who any of these people are. And as they meet them, the audience meets them. Another way would just be to establish your characters through scenes that really tell us who they are. I think that that's really useful, especially in like adult dramas. I love to see a scene that you don't know what the purpose of it is until the character just makes a choice that nobody else but that character would make. There's definitely a lot of different ways to kind of get into the story. Well, for me, I start with a hook and then I build the characters in the world and how they relate to each other, and then I move from there.